I'm putting every MLB team into a March Madness style tournament, and we're going to find out who the true champion of baseball is. I have set up two brackets for the American and the National League and created seedings based on last year's results, and we're starting on the American League side with this matchup between the 8-seed Yankees and the 9-seed Red Sox. Since there's only 15 teams on each side, the defending champ from each league gets a first round bye, and this matchup between two rivals should be a great start to the tournament, as that should have been a double play, but instead an error is going to give up the first run. There are runners at the corners, and New York still has not recorded an out, so this could be a very messy start, but there's a strikeout, and in the end, Cole was very lucky to get out of that one, only giving up a run, and the Yankees are leading off with a base hit. This could be a very offensive game, as this one shot back up the middle. Grisham's gonna get to it though, and that's an easy double play. That one at-bat completely destroyed the Yankees' momentum, so they're still down 1-0, and Tyler O'Neill's gonna fly out deep. This is much more of the Garrett Cole we expected to see in this game, but these throws are not gonna help them out. That is another error. This game has been incredibly sloppy so far, and that could make all the difference. So thanks to their fielding, New York has some ground to make up, but ever since that first inning, neither offense has been able to get going, but this could be a spark. Neither pitcher has been able to hit the plate, so their pitch counts are rising fast, and there's two aboard for Aaron Judge, who's gonna give this a ride deep into right field, but he's late on the swing, and it's gonna end the inning. This is only the first game of the tournament, and it could already be setting the tone as we finally see an extra base hit. But once again, though, neither side has been able to score any runs, but that could all change right now. Anthony Rizzo, a drive deep to right field. It is over the fence. A two-run shot's gonna give the Yankees the lead, and this one's gonna come down to the wire, but maybe not. Austin Wells going yard, make it back-to-back home runs for New York. These are the fireworks we've been waiting for, and New York just went on an absolute tear, as 7 unanswered runs helped them reach the Sweet 16. So that means that round 2 is the Sweet 16, and we're flipping to the National League side where the Reds and the Padres are facing off. San Diego opened this game with a leadoff single, and Tatis is going to sneak this one through to get 2 aboard. So unlike last game, maybe we could see some offense at the beginning, but thankfully for Cincinnati, Hunter Green rallied back and forced his pop-up to get out of the inning. Pitching is not a strength for either side, so we could see some runs today. Matt McClain going to left center field, giving it a ride, and it's going to climb the fence for a home run. Just like in the first game of the tournament, this one's 1-0 after the first inning, and this is good contact, but it's not good enough. That dinger is the only exciting thing that's happened in this video so far, but maybe the Padres can get something going, as there's a runner in scoring position with 2 away, but Campusano is going to ground out. It's the 5th inning, and there's still only 1 run scored between each side, but if this one's anything like that Red Sox-Yankees game, that can change at any time, as I think this is the most runners that the Padres have ever had on base, and Fernando Tatis is going to deliver with a sharp single up the middle to tie this game. That was a clutch play with 2 outs to give the Padres some confidence, but Fraley's going to deliver his second hit, so maybe Cincinnati can answer right back. Elly De La Cruz hammers this one into right field. That one's going to go all the way back to the wall, and I don't think it's going to score Fraley, but they've got runners on 2 and 3. Grab your popcorn because this one is heating up quickly, and I think Stephenson's going to get this one to drop into shallow right field. He does. That's going to score a run. The Padres scored a run. Cincinnati answered, but now it's San Diego's turn. Luis Campusano going the distance on this 2-run blast. It is impossible to guess who's going to pull away in this one, but Matt McClain just launched this one into left field, and that was not a smart pitch because now he's just a triple away from the cycle. It doesn't matter if they can't score him though, and India strikes out, so Cincinnati's running out of chances, but that one's not going to be fielded cleanly. Tyler Stephenson with the RBI. I'm definitely going to be quick managing a lot more of these, but I need to see how this tie game in the 8th inning pans out. That's a Padres double. Each team has had problems scoring runners in scoring position, but this is going to make it a little easier, but nothing's guaranteed with 2 outs as Merrill strikes out looking. These are the 8 and 9 seeds, so it makes sense this matchup's close, and what a play. It is becoming increasingly likely that this one's going to extra innings, but Manny Machado, who just made the great defensive play, has something to say about it, as this is going to be a double deep into the gap to score the go-ahead run. The veteran has put San Diego on the verge of winning in the 9th inning, but Fraley launched this one deep into right field, and this one's going to get all the way to the wall where it couldn't go over, but Fraley has a triple. The tying run is at third base, but why tie the game when you can win it? Tyler Stephenson, a deep drive into right center field, and this is a walk-off, baby. It's only the second game of the video, but what a fantastic way to end this one. Now we're going to see matchups between the 5 and 12 seeds, so these games might not be that close, but Mike Trout's trying to help the Angels pull off this upset. However, no more Shohei Ohtani is going to put the Angels at a huge disadvantage in this one, especially against a playoff team like the Rays, and Detmers cannot be leaving pitches over the middle. The Angels are very lucky that didn't turn into a dinger, but now Mike Trout's going to go to work with 1 on, launching this one deep into center field, and the Rays made the same mistake, but Mike Trout is going to make them pay with 2 runs. I did not have this on my bingo card because the Angels are a 15 seed team, and they may not be done because Brandon Drury launched another double. There's 1 on with 2 away, and Taylor Ward sneaks this one up the middle through the infield as he's rounding third, heading for home. The throw comes in, and it is in time. Tampa Bay is one of the best teams in this tournament, but they're in danger of a first-round exit, but this solo shot is going to help. They're very lucky to only be trailing by 1 run because the Angels are out hitting them 8-3 right now, and they can tie it up if they can score Randy Arozarena from second base, and Ahmed Rosario is going to do exactly that. He's rounding third, headed home. The throw's offline. However, the Angels aren't done as Mike Trout scored again, so even though the Rays have the way better ace, they're still trailing by 1 run in this game, and we could be just a few innings away from the first real shakeup of this video, but this one's driven high and deep back to right field where it's going to be caught at the wall. I cannot believe that the Angels are looking to close this one out in the 9th inning, and with the Rays down to their last strike, they got him with the low slider, an absolute stunner. The Angels are moving on. Looking back at it now, it makes sense because Mike Trout hit for the cycle. I'm wondering if this matchup between the 5-seed Brewers and the 12-seed Mets will be just as exciting, and it's off to a great start because Nimmo lifted this one deep into right field and over the fence. It would be absolutely insane if both 5 seeds got knocked out in the very first round of this tournament, but Milwaukee has 1 runner on and won't give up easily, but Willy Adames just grounded out. This has been a very rough day for Freddie Peralta so far, who just gave up his 2nd run of the game, and it definitely doesn't help that the Brewers are up against Kodai Senga, who's pitched a gem so far. This game got worse when Pete Alonso belted a solo home run, and Milwaukee did not have any offensive firepower to come back, so both 5 seeds lost. I'm not sure I can take another upset, especially if it involves the worst team in the game in the Chicago White Sox, so thankfully Royce Lewis is going yard. That's going to finally break a 0-0 tie in the bottom of the 6th, so it's very important that Minnesota capitalizes, and there's another man aboard with 2 outs as Correa lifted this one deep into the left center gap, going all the way back, and that is going to be a guaranteed double. That's going to score Byron Buxton unless it bounces over the fence, which it does. That is a very unfortunate turn of events as an automatic double robs them of another run, so that puts Chicago in a much better spot to tie this game, and this one's blasted into the left center gap, and Minnesota's lead did not last very long. All these games have been way too close, but Matt Wallner is going to make this one way more interesting with a no-doubt blast to right. That is going to drastically increase Minnesota's chances of winning, and Ryan Jeffers just lined a double, so Garcia is absolutely blowing it for the White Sox, and there is another one. Home run number 2 of the inning. That's a 2-run shot. No surprises here. Minnesota holds off Chicago, and they're going to be the Angels' opponent in the 2nd round. However, now we're seeing a game from the other Los Angeles team, and they could easily win this whole thing. However, St. Louis should not be underestimated because they're a much better team than their low seeding suggests, but unfortunately, the Dodgers just made this a 1-0 game, and they're going to get runners at the corners with this single. Now Freddie Freeman has a chance to extend the lead, and he's going to do exactly that, and now it's Ohtani time, and he didn't get a lot on this, but it does not matter. That's going to score the 3rd run of the inning. This is one of the biggest rallies we've seen of the entire video, and Max Muncy's going to add to it. This is another RBI double. Shortly after, this one got out of hand, and it's going to be very hard for the Dodgers to lose. Things have definitely calmed down after a very crazy start to this video, as the Blue Jays have a 2-1 lead, and Vlad Jr. just smoked this. Toronto has a prime opportunity to score with 2 runners on, but there's a pop-up, so it's going to be up to Joey Votto to extend their lead as he smokes this one through the infield, and this runner is going to test the throw no matter what. It's going to be close. Steven Kwan, throw coming in, that's going to be in time. Extending their lead's going to have to wait, but there's a 2-run bomb, so that's going to make it very hard for the lower-seeded Guardians to pull off a comeback, especially because the Blue Jays bats are staying hot in this one with another double into the left center gap, so Toronto's going to win big and move on to the next round. Hopefully this game between the Marlins and the Pirates can be a little bit more interesting, and Berger's going to start us off with a sacrifice fly to left field, so the Marlins are definitely the favorite in this one, and Josh Bell just sent this one deep into right field for a no-doubter that's going to get 2 more runs on the board. It's going to be extremely difficult for Pittsburgh to top that, but they're actually getting a rally going, so maybe it's time for another thrilly. Big Rowdy just pulled this one though, deep to right field. That's going to climb the fence and tie the game. It really felt like Miami was going to run away with this game, but Pittsburgh has made this so much more interesting than I thought, but now they have another chance to make something happen with runners at the corners. Luis Ariz to right field, but it's not going to drop. This one's still tied up in the 5th inning, but Josh Bell just hit a missile into the left center gap. That one's going to keep rolling and is definitely going to score the runner all the way from first base and turn into an RBI double. The Marlins wouldn't let off the gas after that, and they would pull away from the Pirates to move on to the next round. We're getting very close to finishing the first round of games, and next up, we have one of the top teams in the entire tournament, the Orioles. However, this could be very interesting because the Royals are the 14th seed, but they've been really hyped up this season. It's still scoreless in the 2nd, but Gunnar Henderson just got 2 aboard with no outs. However, the challenge of this game for Baltimore is that they're facing a lefty, and there's a double play. That could prove to be a challenge for this offense, but Kersted's going to get them going with a deep double into left field to score the first run of the game. Kansas City's offense has not been able to get anything going, but they finally have a runner in scoring position, and Bobby Witt Jr. is going to score him. However, Baltimore would respond with a 2-run nuke, so the Royals are going to need to get some offense going, but there's 2 on for Vinny Pasquantino, who's going to ground this one to short, and that's going to be an inning-ending double play. From there, Baltimore would stay on the gas, and this ended up being a very easy win. That means we're getting a matchup between 2 playoff teams next round, and I'm expecting a very similar result in the National League as the Braves are taking on Washington. The winner of this game is going to take on Miami, and Ozzie Albies is trying to get Atlanta there with a 2-run shot. It is not looking good so far, but it's definitely not over, because obviously crazy things happen in baseball every single day, and it's only a 2-1 game. Washington is slowly chipping away with some singles in this inning, as they're going to get runners at the corners here, so maybe it's okay that they don't have the big sluggers the Braves have, but this is a double into the gap that's going to score 2 runs and take the lead for Washington. We started this game with some unreal upsets, but this would be the craziest one one yet. There's another run. So a game that I wrote off as a blowout for Atlanta has suddenly become very interesting. But we all know that a 2-run lead is not a lot for a team that has 6 all-stars in their lineup. And this entire game could ride on Josiah Gray's ability to contain this offense, but so far it's not looking very promising. There are 2 runners in scoring position for Jarred Kelenic, and as a Mariners fan, that absolutely hurts my soul. If you're enjoying the video so far, please drop a like and subscribe, because this one did take a lot of work. And I think the reason it's taking so long so far is that I usually am able to sim games, but Washington's actually putting up a fight. However, it looks like their upset bid is starting to fall apart because Atlanta had scored 2 runs and Sean Murphy just batted in 2 more. Another run could be the dagger, and of course Jarred Kelenic's gonna deliver it deep to right field. MLB The Show had to rub the trade in my face, and I'm still mad the Mariners gave up on him. It wasn't pretty at first, but the Braves are moving on to the next round. And I know it's great timing, but now my favorite team, the Seattle Mariners, are next up. So I really hope I don't have to watch them get upset in the first round against the Tigers. And this 2-run bomb to open it up is really gonna help. Seattle obviously doesn't have a very consistent offense, but Detroit's is even worse. So it's a really bad matchup for them. Ty France, home run number 2. It's gonna be a challenge, but maybe Detroit can come back in this one, especially if Seattle's defense continues to play like this. He just rolled over that one, and that runner's coming home. That is an RBI triple. Obviously, this is an unbiased video, but I'd be pretty salty if Seattle lost right after Jarred Kelenic hit a go-ahead nuke, and it's looking like that could be very possible because Detroit's not going away in this one. It's only a 1-run game, but Jorge Polanco, that's another home run. Things are not looking good for the Tigers in the bottom of the 5th inning, but Mitch Garver going deep to left center field. That is another dinger. Home run number 2 for him on the game. Unfortunately, the Tigers fell apart after that, and Seattle avoids the upset to move on to the next round. Next up, we have another fringe playoff team in the Cubs going up against the Giants, but San Francisco's already putting up way more of a fight than Detroit did with this first inning run. They also went out and signed Jorge Soler this offseason, who absolutely mashes lefties, and he's going to do exactly that to score another run. The biggest move they made this offseason, though, was signing Cy Young winner Blake Snell, and he's facing a guy that Chicago fans are very glad they have back in Cody Bellinger. That dinger is going to tie the game. They took advantage of one bad pitch from Snell, but the Giants scored another run, so it's clear that this game's going to be very close as Snell just loaded the bases. So this is a huge scoring chance for Ian Happ, who got the pitch to hit but popped it up behind the catcher. Chicago just had the lead in the palm of their hand, but instead they remain on the verge of getting upset by the Giants, and this is another double into the left center gap. This one's going to roll, and this game just keeps getting worse. Soler's going to get to third base, where he's going to make the very questionable decision to round third, heading for home, and we all know he's not even going to be close. What a dumb decision. Chicago is very lucky the Giants shot themselves in the foot, because another run would have made it way harder to come back from, and this looks like a pop-up, but it drops in center field. So 2 runners are at scoring position, but the guy on third's heading home. I don't know why they're making these decisions. That one's not even going to be close. I can't even begin to understand both of these teams' base running decisions, but we finally have another run in this one, and we are on the verge of seeing another upset in this tournament as the Giants have really come out swinging, and Jorge Soler is going to put this one away with a 3-run jack to left field. What a statement made by the 10-seed San Francisco Giants. And all due respect to any Athletics fans in the comments section, but I really don't think we need to watch this game because Houston started this game hot and they didn't have a chance. It should be a very similar story on the National League side, but it's only 1-0, and Colorado has a runner in scoring position. Diaz gives this one a ride deep into left center field, but he's not going to have the power to get it to go. That was their chance to tie this game, but it looks like it wouldn't have mattered because Philadelphia put up 4 runs in the 3rd inning, and in the end, Philadelphia shut them out 9-0. That was the end of the first round of games in this tournament, and we've already seen some shocking upsets. And the second round begins with a matchup between the 1-seed Rangers and the 8-seed Yankees, and New York really wants to pull off a comeback, but Adolis Garcia blasted this one over the fence. The defending champs are coming off of a first round bye, and they're obviously a favorite to win this whole tournament, as I was interested in seeing if they were going to start out slow in this game, but they already have 2 runs in the second. The rally is showing no signs of stopping because Leody Taveras just drove in the 3rd run of the inning, but even though things are looking bad, we can't count out New York because they made some big offensive moves for Juan Soto and Alec Verdugo, who just blasted a 3-run shot deep to right center field and over the fence. What an answer from the 8-seed Yankees. It's tied up, but with so many offensive superstars on each side, that could quickly change. And right on cue, Corey Seager turns on this one, and this line drive into right field puts Texas back on top. I feel bad for the Yankees because they're the type of team that could do very well in this type of tournament, but they got dealt a very bad hand having to face off against the defending champs, and this one's not going to get through the infield. That's a double play. It's definitely not over yet, but Evan Carter tripled and Corey Seager would send him home, so a 2-run deficit is definitely not ideal for New York, but Soto's going to blast this one into the right center gap for a double, so the tying runs at the plate, but Anthony Rizzo just popped it up. That is another wasted opportunity. However, in the next inning, 3 walks loaded the bases, and there's only one away for Alex Verdugo, who's going to get more than enough on this one for a bases loaded sacrifice fly. Now the Rangers have a very scary situation pitching to Aaron Judge with runners at the corners, but Corey Seager saved the day. Both teams are in their bullpen, and Texas is going to get 2 aboard, so this could be trouble for the Yankees, but Nathaniel Lowe hits into a double play. They get out of it. Unfortunately, though, they couldn't hold on forever, so to stay in this tournament, they need a 2-run 9th inning from the bottom of their lineup, and at least Austin Wells hit a single, but but this is soft contact into a sure double play, but it's going over the head of Seager, and an error gets 2 aboard. This could be the ultimate choke job for Texas, but unfortunately, Verdugo's gonna fly out to end the game, and the Rangers move on. This game has a chance to be a lot more interesting, but Corbin Carroll started with a bomb, but Cincinnati can't panic yet, especially because we saw them come away with the walk-off win in round 1. This one gets away from Marte. That's gonna tie the game. That should have been a double play, but India smoked it to second base, so this one's tied up in the 5th inning, and Perdomo gets this to drop, so the bases are loaded, except he's rounding third. Why are you doing this? Heading for home. That throw's gonna get him by a mile. I don't know why so many 40-speed base runners decided that they're Usain Bolt, but Arizona hit a 2-run bomb, so at least it looks like that base running mistake isn't gonna hurt them, especially because Cincinnati's offense has disappeared. I thought the Reds were gonna put up more of a fight, but the Diamondbacks are moving on, but maybe the Angels can perform a little bit better, especially after beating the Rays in the first round, and they're starting this game off with an RBI double. I would be shocked if this Angels team without Shohei Ohtani could move on to the Elite Eight, and so far they're doing pretty good. There's another run, but Minnesota would come back with one of their own, and Correa hit this one deep to left field, but it's not going to go far enough. They are running out of chances, and the Angels just scored again, so I can't believe that they're only 2 innings away from securing another upset to a playoff team as a 12 seed, as there's a runner in scoring position for Max Kepler with 2 outs, but he popped this one up deep to right field. To make things worse, they scored another run, but Matt Wallner with 1 swing is going to tie this game with a 2-run blast into right field. That could have been a walk-off if Minnesota's bullpen hadn't collapsed, but at least Wallner gave them a chance to stay in this tournament, as this one's given a ride high and deep to right field. And there it is, the walk-off home run, as Minnesota came surging back to win this game. I was really convinced that the Angels would go on a magical run, but Minnesota stole their victory away, and now the Mets are facing the Dodgers. I'm really surprised that this game has remained close, but that may not last very long, as a wild pitch is going to allow a runner to score. Now the bases are loaded for Teoscar Hernandez, who obliterates this grand slam to center field, and that's going to end the Mets. Now we've got a matchup between 2 American League playoff teams where Toronto's going to strike first, so Baltimore's already trailing by 2 runs, and they've gotten runners on base today, but they just have not been able to score them. I thought Baltimore's bullpen could give them an advantage in this one, but Gosman's pitching a gem, and they still haven't taken him out in the 8th inning, as this is a double play, as Baltimore got completely shut out. I am shocked that Atlanta hasn't scored a single run in this game, but Ronald Acuna Jr. just changed that real quick, so now this one's at least tied up, but Ozzie Albies is going to continue the rally with another RBI single. It took a while for them to get going, but now they're in a great spot, as the bases are loaded for Matt Olson, who's going to unload on this one deep to left center field, and it's not going to be a dinger, but it will be a sacrifice fly. This game has been downhill for Miami ever since their bullpen took over, and there's another run, so Atlanta's moving on to the next round. We are just 2 games away from the Elite Eight, where Seattle's putting Houston on upset alert, and so far they've gotten a great performance out of Luis Castillo, who just gave up his first run. Houston's back in this one with a man on first, and McCormick's going to send this one deep to left field for a go-ahead no-doubter. Everything changed in 2 at-bats, and now they're running away with this one, as they came back from down 2 with 8 unanswered runs. This is our last game of the Sweet 16, and San Francisco struck first, so Philly needs to get something together, but there's a 2-run shot from Soler. The Giants are the only non-playoff team left in the tournament, so this would be a huge upset, and this has been an electric performance from their recent free agent signing Blake Snell, who's trying to get his last out in a complete game shutout, but Trey Turner is going to make him wait a little bit longer with this double to left center. Things are getting a little bit scary with Bryce Harper up to the plate, and he just launched this one into right center field, and there goes Blake Snell's shutout. Snell could not go the complete game, and the tying run Castellanos just got aboard, so it's all up to Alec Boehm, who has a walk-off chance, but popped up a high cutter, and the Giants are moving on. These are the Elite Eight teams in MLB March Madness, with the 10-seed Giants sneaking in, and Minnesota struck first against the defending champs, so Texas is looking for an answer, and this weak blooper into shallow left field is likely not going to do it, but they're going after it, and it's going to drop, so a runner's going to score from third base. That was a crazy way to tie the game, but they missed the chance to score more runs, but after that, they would score 2 more, along with a 2-run shot from Taveras. Minnesota needed a walk-off home run last game to get here, and it looks like their magic has run out against the Texas Rangers, who rode a late offensive explosion to get to the Final Four. Maybe this can be a closer game between the Toronto Blue Jays and the Houston Astros, and MLB The Show cover athlete Vlad Jr. strikes first with an RBI double off the wall. The Jays already had to go through a playoff team in Baltimore to get here, and they're off to a great start, but they need to score some more runs against this electric Houston offense, and Verlander loaded the bases by pitching at Guerrero Jr., and Justin Turner would score 2 runs. They have a very comfortable lead against a team that is definitely the favorite to win this tournament, but at least they scored their first run on this sac fly, and now there's 2 on with 2 outs for Altuve. Why did you leave that up in the zone? That is obliterated, and the Astros have taken the lead. Jose crushed that one, and knowing the Astros, this is the beginning of the end for Toronto, especially since Altuve went yard for the second time. That had the chance to be an amazing game, but Houston pulled away, so we're going to be seeing an ALCS rematch in the Final Four. Now on the National League side, we have the D-backs and the Dodgers, and Shohei Ohtani's already doing his thing, and I'm not talking about gambling, I'm talking about hitting dingers. The Diamondbacks did score a run, but they only have 3 hits off of Ohtani, so up to this point, he has single-handedly winning them this game, and unfortunately for Arizona, this ended up being a very easy win. The San Francisco Giants are the only non-playoff team left in the tournament, but unfortunately, I'm not feeling very good as they're up against the Atlanta Braves, but they're starting with an opposite field double. However, that didn't go anywhere, and Atlanta made them pay for it. I thought that Blake Snell was one of the only pitchers that could deal with Atlanta's lineup, but I was wrong. No matter what, though, the Giants deserve a lot of credit for being the last playoff team standing. Here's the final out, and Atlanta's moving on. I think this might be the most predictable Final Four we could have possibly had, but I'm still looking forward to the final two matchups of the season as Yordan Alvarez is going to open this one up with a drive deep to right center. That's gone. There's a ton of offense on each side, so I was expecting a high-scoring game, but the Rangers have struggled so far, and it's already the bottom of the fifth where this one's hit back to first base, and that is a very unlucky double play. Thankfully for them, though, Jacob deGrom settled down ever since giving up those first two runs, so they still have some more time to cut into the two-run Astro lead, and here we go. Evan Carter lines this one into right field. It's going to stay fair, and Leody Taveras is going to round third, heading for home as the throw comes in, and it is in time, just barely. That is another bad base running decision, and this one really hurts because Garcia would have just tied the game, but at least they got a run on the board, and Marcus Semion's going to add with this beautiful gapping double the other way. That's going to score Garcia. This game's going to likely come down to each team's bullpen, and Verlander's still in, at least until Evan Carter blasted another extra base hit. This will be a triple. The Rangers have another runner in scoring position. This one's going right back at their reliever, and Carter's going to score on an infield single. That is their first lead of the game, and it could not have come at a better time because Kyle Tucker's going to be the last out of this game, and 3 unanswered runs help the Rangers move on to the final round. This game will set the final round of the tournament, and the Dodgers strike first with a Will Smith RBI single, but the Braves aren't going away that easily. Ronald Acuna Jr. with runners at the corners launches a no-doubter to the second deck. This has been a very entertaining pair of games so far, and the Braves could score even more runs off Ohtani in this inning, but Michael Harris popped it up. Atlanta would score another run, so Los Angeles needs to figure something out, and there's 2 on for Hayward, but he flew out. Spencer Strider has 11 strikeouts, but he just gave up his first bomb of the game to former Brave Freddie Freeman. The Dodgers cut into their lead, but they need 2 runs in the 9th inning. This one's gonna get down, and Mookie Betts is gonna be the tying run, but he swung at the first pitch he saw, and that's how the game's gonna end. Ronald Acuna's early dinger made all the difference, and the Braves are going to the finals. It's the 4th inning, and both teams don't even have a hit in this one, but right on cue, Evan Carter finally delivers. I was starting to wonder if we were gonna see a perfect game in this one. Corey Seager, deep bomb to right field, watching it go, and drifting foul. That would have been a great way to blow this game wide open. Marcus Semien getting redemption for Corey Seager. That one almost went foul too, but it just managed to stay fair. The Rangers offense has officially broken through Spencer Strider, and here's 3 runs in the 5th inning, but in a crazy turn of events for this offense, Atlanta has not even gotten a hit off of Jacob deGrom in the 7th. This is the best pitching performance I've ever seen in MLB The Show, and he's doing this against a team with 6 All-Stars in their lineup, and in the final game of this tournament, Jacob deGrom has a no-hitter through 7 innings, but finally Michael Harris is going to end that. We still can't disregard how impressive a complete game shutout against the Atlanta Braves is, and the Texas Rangers have won the entirety of my simulation of March Madness in Major League Baseball. Please drop a like and subscribe if you enjoyed the video, and click right here to see more of my content.